I was standing near the buffet table when my mother raised her voice. The room went quiet. She was talking to my uncle and a few older relatives, but her words were meant for everyone. She said I was selfish, that I didn't care about family, that I had forgotten where I came from. My father nodded along, arms crossed, expression flat. I wasn't expecting it. Not here. Not in front of everyone. I felt my face go hot, but I didn't move. I didn't argue. I just stood there holding my plate, watching her gesture toward me like I was proof of something shameful. A few people looked away. A few looked right at me. I set the plate down on the table and walked toward the far corner of the hall. I needed a minute to breathe. If this resonated with you, I'd really appreciate it if you'd like this video or leave a comment. It helps more than you know. I stayed in that corner for a while. No one came over. My younger brother was talking to cousins near the door. My sister was laughing with someone by the drinks. They didn't seem bothered. Maybe they didn't hear it. Maybe they were used to it. I wasn't sure anymore. I looked around the room. Decorations hung from the ceiling, tables full of food. It was supposed to be a celebration. My mother was still talking, though quieter now. My father had joined another conversation. I thought about leaving. But I didn't want to make a scene. I didn't want to prove her point, so I stayed. I sat down in a chair against the wall and just watched. It felt strange to be so still in a room so full of people. The pattern had been there for years. I just hadn't named it. Every few months there was a request. Sometimes it was urgent, a medical bill, a tuition payment, a repair that couldn't wait. I always sent the money. I never said no. I worked full-time. I paid my own rent. I didn't ask them for anything. But when I couldn't send as much one month, my mother called and said I was being difficult. When I asked why my brother wasn't contributing, she said he was still figuring things out. He was 25. I stopped asking after that. I just kept sending what I could. No one ever said thank you. No one ever asked how I was managing. It just became expected. Normal, routine. At family events, I noticed how they talked about my siblings. My brother was ambitious. My sister was sweet. I was barely mentioned. If someone asked about me, my mother would say I was fine. That was it. Fine. She never mentioned my job, never mentioned the promotions or the certifications I earned, never mentioned the apartment I worked hard to afford. But she would talk about my brother's plans, my sister's boyfriend, their futures. I used to try to join the conversations. I used to try to share, but eventually I stopped. It didn't seem to matter. I felt like a name on a list, present but not really seen. It hurt more than I expected. The requests kept coming. Last year, my father needed help with a down payment. I sent half my savings. He didn't tell me thank you. He told me he'd expected more. A few months later, my mother called about a family emergency. I sent what I could. She didn't call back to update me. I found out later from my sister that everything was fine. No one thought to tell me. When I brought it up, my mother said I was being dramatic. That family doesn't keep score. But it felt like I was the only one giving, the only one expected to show up when needed, and the only one blamed when I couldn't do more. There was one thing they didn't know about. Years ago, my grandmother left a property in my name. It was small, a piece of land with a modest house on it. My parents had assumed it would go to my father, but my grandmother wrote my name in the will. She told me once privately that she trusted me, that I would protect it. I didn't tell anyone. I kept the paperwork in a folder at my apartment. I paid the property taxes quietly. I never mentioned it at family gatherings. It felt safer that way, like something that was mine, something they couldn't take or reframe or use as proof of something I wasn't. Last month, I went to a lawyer. I wanted to make sure everything was secure. I wanted to transfer the ownership into a trust, something formal, something that couldn't be contested or pressured out of me later. The lawyer helped me file the documents. It was official within 2 weeks. I didn't tell my parents. I didn't tell my siblings. I just kept it quiet. I wasn't hiding it out of guilt. I was protecting it, protecting myself. I knew that if they found out, they would have opinions. They would have plans. They would expect me to share it or sell it or let them use it. I wasn't ready for that fight, so I waited. I also kept records, every transfer I made, every request they sent, every message where I said yes. I didn't do it to be vindictive. I did it because I wanted to remember. I wanted proof that I had shown up, that I had helped, that I hadn't been selfish or ungrateful or any of the things they said I was. I had years of bank statements, screenshots of texts, receipts. I kept them in a folder on my laptop. I didn't know if I'd ever need them. But I felt better knowing they existed, that the truth was documented, that I wasn't imagining it. It was real. It was there. At the gathering, I watched people eat and laugh. I watched my mother move through the room, greeting everyone warmly. She looked proud, happy. I wondered if she remembered what she'd said to me earlier, or if it had already left her mind. My father was talking to someone near the entrance. He looked relaxed, unbothered. I felt invisible again, like I could leave and no one would notice. I thought about the folder on my laptop. I thought about the house my grandmother left me. I thought about how much I had given and how little it seemed to matter. I stayed in my chair. I didn't know what else to do. I started to pull back, not dramatically, just quietly. I stopped answering every call. I stopped checking my messages right away. When my mother asked for something, I said I'd think about it. I didn't say no, I didn't say yes, I just delayed. I needed space. I needed time to figure out what I was doing. She noticed. She asked if something was wrong. I said I was busy with work. She didn't push, but I could tell she wasn't happy. I didn't care. For the first time, I didn't care. I needed to focus on myself. I needed to stop waiting for them to see me. I stopped sending money, not all at once, just gradually. I said I had expenses, that I was saving, that I couldn't help this time. My mother called me selfish again. My father said I was being unreasonable. My brother didn't say anything. My sister said she understood but still asked if I could help her instead. I said no. It was the first time I'd said it so clearly. She didn't respond. I felt guilty, but I also felt lighter, like I had taken something back. Like I had remembered I was allowed to say no. It wasn't easy, but it was necessary. I started setting boundaries in other ways too. I didn't attend every gathering. I didn't answer every guilt trip. I didn't explain myself as much. I just existed on my own terms. My mother said I was pulling away. She said I was acting like I didn't need them. I didn't argue. I didn't defend. I just let her think whatever she wanted. I wasn't angry. I was just done. Done trying to prove myself. Done trying to earn something I should have been given freely. I wasn't walking away forever. I was just walking away from the version of me they wanted. The one who gave without question, without limits. Gathering was still going. People were dancing now. Music played from a speaker near the stage. I stood up and walked toward the restroom. I needed to move. When I came back, I saw my mother talking to a man I didn't recognize. He was dressed formally, holding a briefcase. I slowed down, something felt off. My father joined them. They were speaking quietly. I stayed back. I didn't know who he was, but I had a feeling, a strange, tight feeling in my chest. I walked closer. My mother glanced at me. Her expression shifted. I stopped a few feet away. The man introduced himself. He was a legal representative. He said he was there to confirm some documents. He said my name. My mother's face went pale. My father asked what he was talking about. The man explained calmly. He said that the property my grandmother left had been formally transferred into a trust under my name, that it was legally protected, that no one else had claim to it. He said he was there because my parents had recently tried to contest the will. My mother started to speak. The man held up a hand. He said the case had been dismissed, that the documentation was clear. A few relatives nearby had stopped talking. They were listening now. My father turned to me. He asked why I hadn't told them. I didn't answer. The man continued. He said he also had records of financial transactions, that I had been making regular contributions for years, that the amounts were significant. He didn't say it cruelly. He said it factually. My mother's face changed. She looked angry, then confused, then something else. The man handed her a folder. He said she could review it if she wanted. She didn't take it. My father took it instead. He opened it slowly. I watched him read. His jaw tightened. The room felt smaller, quieter. One of my uncles asked what was going on. My father closed the folder. He didn't answer. My mother looked at me like she didn't recognize me. I didn't say anything. I didn't need to. The man thanked everyone for their time. He said the matter was resolved. He nodded at me and left. I stood there. People were staring. Some looked confused. Some looked uncomfortable. My brother finally walked over. He asked if I was okay. I said I was fine. He didn't know what to say. Neither did I. My mother turned and walked toward the other side of the hall. My father followed her. I stayed where I was. I didn't wait for anyone to come back. I picked up my bag from the chair and walked toward the exit. My sister caught up to me near the door. She asked where I was going. I said I was leaving. She asked if I was coming back. I said I didn't know. She looked hurt. I felt bad, but I didn't stay. I couldn't. I told her I needed space, that I needed time to figure things out. She nodded. I left through the side door. The air outside was cold. I walked to my car and sat inside for a minute. I didn't cry, I just sat there. Then I drove home. The next day, my mother called. I didn't answer. She called again, I let it ring. She left a voicemail. She said we needed to talk, that I had embarrassed them, that I should have told them about the house. I deleted it. My father sent a text. He said I was being unfair, that family doesn't keep secrets. I didn't respond. I wasn't trying to punish them. I just didn't have anything to say, not yet, maybe not ever. I blocked their numbers for a while. I needed silence. I needed to not feel guilty every time my phone buzzed. It was the only way I could breathe. Weeks passed. I went to work. I came home. I cooked dinner. I watched shows. I didn't reach out. No one reached out to me either. My brother texted once to check in. I said I was okay. He didn't ask anything else. I appreciated that. I started to feel normal again. Not happy, not sad, just steady. I didn't miss the phone calls. I didn't miss the requests. I didn't miss feeling like I owed someone something I could never fully repay. I felt lighter, quieter, more like myself. I didn't know what would happen next, but I knew I didn't want to go back. I still think about that night sometimes, about the look on my mother's face, about the folder my father held, about how quickly everything shifted. I don't feel proud. I don't feel victorious. I just feel clear. I know what I'm worth now. I know I don't have to earn love by losing myself. I know I can say no. I know I can walk away. I'm still figuring out what comes next, but I'm doing it on my terms. Thank you for listening to this. If it meant something to you, I'd love it if you liked or subscribed. And I'm curious, have you ever had to set a boundary that changed everything? Let me know.